this is Nancy with Creative Fun, and this is the short version of how a knitting machine works. This is a knitting machine. It's a KnitKing Brother KH930 knitting machine. It has approximately 200 needles. I'm missing a few right now. And they are 4.5 millimeters apart. This is what the needles look like. It looks a lot like a latch hook with an extra little part right here. Whoops, there we go. There it is. And the yarn is around this, goes around this little base, and then new yarn is placed into the hook here. As the knitting carriage goes across, this is the carriage back here, as it goes across the row, the needle is pushed out, and the old piece of yarn is pushed behind the latch. New yarn goes into the hook, and then the yarn, the carriage, makes the hook retract, or the needle retract into the machine, and the latch closes. The yarn that's over it flips over, and you have a new row that's knitted, or a new stitch. And when that happens, you get a row knitted in, I guess you could probably do easily 30 rows per minute, 1 every 2 seconds, depending on how much you're doing. You could probably even go faster than that. All right, let me show you the machine, and then I'll show you a little insert of a close-up with the machine knitting. So here's the carriage. A knitting machine is similar to a sewing machine in that it has a tension setting dial, and it just basically pushes the thread or the yarn around to do what you want it to do. You still have to know how to increase, decrease, put pieces together, change colors out accordingly. Going across, back and forth. Tension dial is here. This machine here is electronic, and it does have a patterning capability. That means it can make the picture of an apple or reindeer on a two-color Fair Isle pattern. Probably similar to an embroidery machine that can sew or embroider a specific pattern that's pre-programmed. This can do that, or you can enter your own pattern into it. All right, I'm going to insert my clip on how the needles work with a close-up with the front of the carriage missing. All right, now that I've shown you how the yarn, how the carriage knits the yarn, I kind of want to take the front of the knitting carriage off. And you do that by unscrewing these right here and pulling this off like this. I want to show you what happens. I'm going to open this up and take my yarn out. Alright, now it's there's no front to it. You don't really knit like this, but I want to show you for demonstration purposes. Alright, let's see if you can see this again. I've got the flash on. The knitting carriage is going across. I'm going to hold, this part back. And the hook, as it goes across, the needles are coming out. And the yarn would be placed into the latches. As it goes across, the yarn that's already on the hook pushes the latch over the new yarn that's in the top of the needle, closing it in and knitting it through to form a new row. And that's how a knitting machine knits. Alright, it's a lot easier not to do it by hand and let the carriage do it, that's for sure. And, hope you find it interesting, that this is helpful as just a brief overview of how a knitting machine knits. Thanks for watching and have a great day.